I'm in the music industry, so I think everybody is aware of how much technology and just the digital revolution has impacted how the music industry's business is ran. So for me, it was like going from selling a CD to selling a song or a digital version of the CD, and then going from selling a digital version to the streaming economy. So my generation experienced the change from CD to digital songs to streaming, and we had to build a brand during each one of those transitional periods. And even just from the main source of income, it used to be an album sale in music. That's changed because of the impact that technology has made. Now, you get less off the music, you get more off the ancillary items. Like if you build a merch line, or you got a big touring company or business, that surrounds the music thing you're doing. So I say the biggest way it's impacted me is just how we go about trying to make money off the music, because that thing has been disrupted and it's changing so fast in the era that we've been putting out music. But I mean, even outside of that, how we promote ourselves on Instagram and the whole social network thing. So my field has been dramatically impacted by technology, and people that embraced it and created and got, a little original with it had the advantage on everybody else. So yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about when you realized that technology was a fundamental brand building tool. There's the second part of this question. What was the first thing you did to utilize it once you realized it was important?
Okay, so since last year, I spoke at these conferences. Everybody wants to fly me around and talk about inclusion, diversity, how they improve their businesses because they realize they're leaving money on the table, but no one wants to pay. So at the end of last year, I was just pissed. I was just like, I'm so sick of this. Nobody wants to pay. It's just lip service. So my friend and I were on the phone, and I was like, you know what? In 2019, I want to be disruptive. And so we just started talking about, I was like, I just want to cause a scene. Hashtag cause a scene. Okay, let's see what happens with that. So I started just dropping that on Twitter and seeing what happens. And people started galvanizing around it. And it became an official thing on International Women's Day. And I knew I had something when my talk at International Women's Day was, why aren't all women making gains in tech? And white women were not happy when I was finished. Yeah, but they were very uncomfortable, and the black women came to me with tears in their eyes and hugging me because I knew I got the message right. I was like, that is it for me. And I've been going ever since. It's that, my friend said, Kim, you were saying the same thing last year. What changed? Putting a strategy behind what I was doing is what changed it for me. And the hashtag cause a scene was the first part of me putting all of my background into a strategy and moving forward.
Of a theatrical release, so it really opened my eyes to the power of that conversation and how fans can drive the next level for a brand.
I think when blogs first popped up, when the blog thing started becoming something, I had a partner that he was a little more educated just in that space, and he was telling me that they got these websites that critique music, and I used to sell my CDs and my music out my trunk. That's what I grew up studying Jay-Z, studying Master P, studying the independent successes from the generation before mine, and it was all about creating your own distribution, taking advantage of your immediate surroundings and just being super local and, owning your home territory. And then this blog thing popped off and you could be global. Your music can instantly be everywhere. And they had, certain genres of blogs. They had hip hop blogs, rock blogs, etc., tech blogs, pet blogs, everything. But this dude showed me that, bro, let me put your song up here. And I'm like, nah, that's like leaking the record. You don't want to put the music out. Just because my entire mentality was like hoard the music, and obviously the whole game became sharing and became, putting your stuff in front of as many eyeballs as possible. But I just remember that convo and him having to educate me and say, no, this is good, it's gonna build a brand, it's gonna build a demand for the album that we end up putting at traditional retail. And I trusted him. And you know, we got booked for shows, we started getting requests for interviews, and it just created a whole income outside of the traditional, put your CD at Best Buy, Target, wait for the album to drop. There's a whole other model that he turned me on to. And I think that was my first exposure to the benefits of it, you know.
One more thing that I want to talk about YouTube is because that's when I knew the power of the web to positively affect marginalized communities. Anytime I want to know something, I have every website I've built I've copied a YouTube video. Every time I want to know about keto or whatever, I've copied a YouTube video. Or it has made access to information that was only held in that. So I'm a generation where every household had if you could afford it, the encyclopedia, which meant information never changed. It was like static. You know, what was in those 26 volumes was all we knew. Now, I could get that in a day of going down a rabbit hole. And that was like, I can do something with this.
And I think that's one of the things we're most proud of on the platform is that ability to give everyone a voice and show them the world. And that's why I transitioned from traditional media to YouTube. Because I got tired of working at a TV studio where every year we rolled out the same sitcom featuring the same kind of traditional American family versus on YouTube where you can see comedy shows, you can see dramatic shows featuring people who look like us. And giving people that voice is one piece of the equation at YouTube, but also showing them the world. So giving everybody access to that same set of information, whether it's how to build a website, how to better do an Excel spreadsheet, or how to learn how to tie a bow tie, all of those resources are available to everyone free on YouTube.
Just sort of like following on that, I do think that it also sort of begs the question, how do we consume this content? How do we teach people to consume this content? Because we are in this awesome age where, as you say, there's all this information, there's all this exciting entertainment that we have access to. But I think especially today, we should also maybe be thinking about how do we teach people to consume the content? How do we teach people to discriminate? Yes, and evaluate. I don't have an answer. It's just just something that I'm thinking about.
Was it research-based? Was it experiential because you worked in a field and you just saw it was going? What led you to sort of say, this is absolutely the path we should be going down?
I got introduced to it, like I said earlier, by somebody I was working with me just on recording the songs that was in the studio working with me. And he just knew a little bit about this thing that was happening online. And once I saw it, my instinct kicked in. You know, it's kind of like you peep the opportunity and your brain start, dang, you could do a lot with this, you know. We didn't really have a model fully built at that moment, but you could see the potential. And you can see, you know, wow, imagine what could happen if you can get your music to millions of people without this middleman, you know, without these gatekeepers, if you can get your content. And then, you know, like you was talking about evaluation, you know, what is the process of things getting noticed? How do things get noticed? Is it just the good stuff just gets noticed because it's good? And this thing like going viral wasn't even a term back then, but all of them potentials, I think, you kind of felt it when you first looked at it, like all of these things could happen. So embrace it and let's just try it out. And we start putting music out, putting videos out, and doing interviews. And what we learned later was just content. We start putting content out and taking advantage of this platform. And you know, what I start to see is that these online reactions are real people. Because I'll be in the real world. I'll be in New York or at a party somewhere at an event. And somebody be like, I run this blog, and I also got this relationship, this clothing line, and we can do something and connect it to it. And I start seeing, you know, this thing is real. It's not just a virtual space that represent some random group of people. This real people are online doing things, and it's only gonna get bigger. And then we start making money off of it too. That's always at the end of the day, that's the bottom line of business, is to make money. So, you just I saw a big opportunity and wanted to just be proactive and start learning through trial and error how to embrace it.
For me, it was definitely trial and error because as a black woman growing up in the South, I was told I was always too loud, I wasn't ladylike, I was this, I was that. Yeah, girl. I said if one more person with a penis told me I wasn't being ladylike, I was gonna scream. I was like, dudes. So having the internet.
For me, it was about telling the same story that we told previously, just through video and song and whatever publications you've done interviews with, and now telling that story across 15 new platforms, YouTube being one of them, IG being one, Twitter, all these different platforms, and they all require different type of content, in my opinion. Some of them got a parameter of how long the content could be. Like, you only getting 60 seconds on IG, so you can't put a 3-minute video that you put on YouTube on your IG. And just thinking about how that impacts your strategy, and thinking like, dang, do I need to sit with my videographer and say, what can we do in 60 seconds? We gotta go about it thinking that this is a 60-second piece of content. We gotta tell this whole story in 60 seconds. But it has to connect back to the video that goes on YouTube for the whole 3 minutes. And it also gotta connect back to what you're doing on IG. And so it just became about figuring out how to tell a story across multiple platforms that all have different languages, even though it's not literally the language difference, but they have a different communication format. And so I think the people that figure that out and how to be really creative on each platform, I think have a stronger brand online and, seem like the leaders, in the space. And after approaching it like that, we start to, as creators, we start to feel like networks. Just like you said about programming and showing up consistently on every Wednesday at this time. I think that we start looking at ourselves as HBO or as, one of these networks that their job is to program content and make hit pieces of content that engage people and have them coming back. And that seemed like the business we in now, because of all of these new platforms. So I don't know if I answered the question, but I feel like.
I'll agree with that. I feel that I'm a media company.
Right.
Because I have a podcast, I do a conference, I do all these things.
Right.
And you're right, every platform tells a consistent story in a different way.
Right.
And it further amplifies the message and the voice. So yeah, I see myself as 2 different businesses. The business of content creation, which drives the business strategist part of what I do, of helping build businesses that don't discriminate or cause harm and that kind of thing.
Right, 100%.
Yeah.
I think it's 2 strategies. I think, like you said, you got the creative strategy, what the actual content is going to be, and then you got a strategy of how you get it out. And
what you do when you get it out, because like you said, the comments. Like I've been in. Okay, I won't curse. Okay, I've been in Stack Overflow's butt for a few months. Raise your hand if you know tech. Okay, because they keep coming out with a survey every year and pretending like everybody filled out that survey when 93% are white males between the ages of 18 and 34 years old. So now companies are using this survey or this platform. So if you don't know what Stack Overflow is, it's where developers go to get questions answered. It is a toxic place for people who are not white males, ages 18 and 34. So now companies, HR departments, because they're lazy, or when you go into an interview or asking what's your Stack Overflow score, because it's like gamified, you get points. Mm-hmm. Well, we miss out because it's not safe for us to ask questions on there. Most of us will go look at copy and paste answers and get back off. Because to ask those jerks a question, you don't even want to be bothered. But that's not the global developer community, and I've been on, you cannot market this as the global developer community. What this is, what you can say is, our customers who are ages 18 to 34, white guys, this is how they got to this question. And that is an issue, because they don't know how to respond, and they have, what they have not gotten is, had they responded to me when I first brought up the concerns, I wouldn't have anything to say. But the more you ignore me, man, it's gold, man. I could just drop something today, and my whole following would start on Stack Overflow again. It's like, dudes, all you have to do is respond. But people don't have mechanisms or a strategy for that. And I say all the time, lack of inclusion is a risk management issue. At some point, you're going to start getting sued for this stuff. And one of the issues I have with Stack Overflow is because only white guys, ages 18 to 34, okay, I'm not going to say only, that's absolute, mostly. Now people are using this code to program AI, machine learning, and deep learning with biased, racist code. This is a problem. I have a serious problem with that, because now you're harming a global community which you don't have a right to harm.